9, 8.
You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, that is one rockin' intro. I haven't actually listened to the whole thing before, but waiting to jump on the show, and yeah, man, the music wasn't too bad. So, well, hey guys, it's not your usual New Jersey Godfather of original art here on a Friday, but Nick is enjoying sunny San Diego. I guess there's something going on in San Diego that, he had to make a trip out there. And so he wanted to, kind of keep the Friday slot going and have something for his audience that, like myself, couldn't make it out there. So he asked me to jump on the show and give you guys, talk to you guys a little bit on a Friday afternoon, maybe share some art, maybe show some art that would be available for sale for you guys, and just kind of keep going. So I just want to also introduce Michael McIsaac is joining me today. So, hey, Michael.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, and Rob Gomez will be joining me today as soon as he makes it home from the bar. He forgot it was at 7 o'clock. So he's flying down the highway to jump on, and he'll be here in just a few minutes. So if you guys know Rob, Wolvie fan, straight from the bar, yeah, that's going to be exciting. I can only assume. But so that being said, how was your week, Michael?
Busy, a lot of work going on, a bit of work prepping for this so I wouldn't come on and, have absolutely nothing to say. So hopefully my prep work will amount to something. And, same old, picked up, not in hand yet, but picked up, I guess, a personal, I don't want to say grail piece since I think the term gets overused, but wow. I've been focusing lately on getting more and more pages from the first comics that I ever read, and I bought from Berkey earlier today a page from Fantastic Four Annual 19 by Byrne and Sinnott, which was the second FF comic I ever bought. Oh, wow. So that was a big one for me.
Well, I'll let you talk about that and share it for a while, but honestly, from an agenda perspective, it's actually pretty packed. What we were going to do is kind of start out and go over Deadpool spoilers for everyone. So hopefully you've seen it all, because we're just going to dive right in and talk about the cameos. But after that, it's going to be a combination. So we're going to start out. I wanted to do a show and sell. So Michael has a few pieces he wanted to kind of show and talk about. Rob has a few pieces. Gomez he wanted to show. I wasn't going to, but I grabbed a couple pieces I want to show. And then about 30 minutes in, I've got a special guest, Rob Guillory. And Rob was the artist on Chu and the artist on Farmhand and a number of other books. And Rob's work is kind of special to me because Chu was the comic that kind of brought me back in to reading comics, and was also how I originally discovered original art. So, I've been acquaintances and social with Rob for a number of years, have some pretty significant pieces that he's done. And so when I was jumping on here and filling out some Friday time, I thought, why not bring him on and do a little bit of an artist interview, nothing too long. And then Rob's going to actually share a few pieces of art that he's looking to sell. So a couple things to get out of the way. I think hit your like button for Nick. I think I need to do some self-deprecating humor and say something about Amy, right? That's kind of something we have to do on the show. I think all art will be 11 cents starting out, right, Michael?
Yeah. It's below my usual 99 cents.
Yeah. And I'm actually, I have my phone up because I'm going to respond to the chats on the YouTube side too. So, well, that being said, and after Rob Guillory leaves, Michael and Rob Wolvie fan, I'm just going to say Wolvie fan. That way, I'm going to say Rob the whole damn time. we have some art that we're going to be offering for sale as well, right? So I think both Michael and Wolvie Fan have about 4 pieces. And, just because I was the host, I wasn't going to bring anything, but I decided to include 1 piece. And then at the very end, because, it wouldn't be a show that I'm on without some type of Slido. And I forgot to turn off question and answers on those Slido. Somebody mentioned Q&A. I'm like, oh, crap, I forgot to turn that off. So that will be on. And we're going to do a quiz for a giveaway. So instead of, the spinning wheel and seeing what shows up, we're going to let you guys fight over who knows Dynamite and Barucci better to win a pretty cool piece of art. Actually, I'm going to tease it. I got it off of a Dueling Dealers with Carl Choi, and it was one of my BBB pieces. And so we're going to give away this really cool Batman sketch of Samurai Batman.
Very nice.
All right. So that being said, while we're waiting for Rob Gomez, let's just go ahead and start the art show. So let me go and I will jump into the deck. Ooh. And Jay, if you want to bring up the PowerPoint, we'll start with Michael. And so Michael, tell me about some of the pieces that you're sharing with me today. We'll start with this topical Deadpool cover.
Yep. So yeah, I figured this was a good one for today, given the Deadpool and Wolverine mania that's sweeping the nation. Although I haven't seen it yet myself, but
they all die at the end.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah.
Deadpool. This is the cover to Deadpool number 39. I think it's volume 4. It's almost hard to keep track at this point since there's been so many series. But it's from 2011, and it's Dave Johnson. You've got the humor that you come to expect from a Deadpool comic combined with action. The action here being a giant Hulk fist coming straight at a crossing guard Deadpool, who's got some little kids behind him who he's trying to protect. And I just thought that this is from when Daniel Way was writing the title, and he had a really good run, I thought. And when I saw that this piece was available a few years back, I was shocked because I thought it was a really great cover. And I think it was even used as the cover for a couple of collected editions. So this is something that I still haven't posted up to my calf gallery yet. So I thought this would be a good place to debut it, even if I've had it for a while.
The offer's up at 69 cents right now. So deal or no deal.
I need a little more than that.
All right, guys, keep going. No, not for sale yet. So, no.
This one I think is a keeper. If I'm selling this, then something's going on.
So give me a dramatic reading on this cover.
Dramatic reading. I think I'd need our friend Derek to do that for us.
So no, it's awesome, man. Happy you got it. Deadpool humor, Hulk, everything like that. So congratulations, dude.
Thanks.
When are you posting? So you're gonna post all these things on CAF right after the show?
No, I'll get to this. I haven't posted any new pieces on CAF in a while because I've been really restructuring my collection over the last year. I've sold off a lot and I've bought a bunch, and I'm sort of waiting until I'm out of selling mode to start posting on a regular basis again.
Just to help Ruben, it's not an arm. Oh, no, it is. It is a fist.
Yeah, it's a fist. It is Marvel. I mean, it's still pseudo Comics Code approved.
Oh, my bad. Awesome, man. All right. The next one, Superman Distance Fires, Gil Kane and Kevin Nolan. I am not familiar with this book whatsoever, but, late 90s Superman, I'm sure there's an audience for it. And Gil Kane.
Yeah, this was from an Elseworlds one shot. Took place on a post-apocalyptic Earth where Superman's one of the last survivors, and you see Superman's the one in the beard here, and he's lost his powers, and the ghosts of his friends are appearing to him in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. In this instance, Batman being the one making the appearance, and it's Gil Kane and Kevin Nolan together. I think anytime Nolan inks anyone, you can tell, you can see his influence on the artwork, and I mean that as a good thing since he's incredibly talented. But there were interviews at the time where Gil Kane actually made reference to this inking job as one of his all-time favorite that Nolan was one of his all-time favorite inkers based on this, and he thought Nolan did such a fabulous job inking his work, and that it brought out his work better than anybody had in a very long time. And as another famous inker has pointed out a couple of times, but it doesn't look exactly like Gil Kane. It looks like Nolan. So Kane loved it. I don't know if he himself recognized, though, how strong the Nolan influence was, but there was a lot of great art on a lot of the Elseworlds books back in the late.
I think around 98, right? I mean, he was comfortable with, I guess, I'm not phoning it in. That's not the right thing, but somebody taking over the heavy lifting.
Yep.
So I like the Superman face in the middle panel. When did you get this?
I've had this one for a while.
You a black hole collector, Michael?
I'm sorry. Well, this one's actually on my this one's in my CAF gallery. Actually, this was actually, I think, one of the first pieces that I had ever posted to CAF when I first started posting, like 3-4 years ago.
Well, I know one of the things that you've been doing over the last few months, you've been unloading a ton of art via auctions, but mostly eBay. What's going on with that?
So I mean, I've been collecting art for about 10.5 years, and during the first 4 years that I collected, I just bought a lot of stuff. Just the sheer volume, like nothing that was like earth-shatteringly amazing or anything like that, but quite a bit of.
How many pages did you have before you purged?
1,400.
Holy shit, dude!
And I've sold about 600 over the last year and a half, and I want to do another 100, I think, or so before I stop.
Oh my gosh. Are you building up a war chest, or have you been, using that for other purchases as you've gone? Combination of both?
Combination, mostly using it for other purchases. A lot of the stuff that I've bought over the last year, which I haven't really posted any of it to CAF yet, has been, I sort of made a list of all of the first comic books, like from each title that I bought as a kid that meant a lot to me. So I've been trying to pick up one page from each of those books.
Gotcha.
So stuff like, just in terms of stuff recently, I picked up a Mike Mignola page from Alpha Flight 29, which was my first Alpha Flight. I just picked up the cover to Power Pack 13, which was my first Power Pack, and Avengers 261, and a few Action Comics 647, a whole bunch of other ones. So I've actually been able to tick off quite a few of them, and then along the way, picking up other stuff too that might not be a first comic sort of nostalgia piece, but that's still a significant nostalgia piece in one way, shape, or form.
Gotcha. And if it's any confusion, so these are just the show part. Like I asked the guests, I have 2 or 3 pieces just to kind of show and share and kind of talk about some recent acquisitions or pieces that they've enjoyed. And then toward the end of the show, we'll have the sale portion. We have about, I think Michael has 4 pieces of art.
Yep.
Rob has 4 pieces of art. Wolvie Fan has 4 pieces of art, and Rob Guillory has 8. So there's going to be plenty of art to be able to purchase today if that's what you're looking to do. And then I was looking at the little sketch. Somebody asked me who the artist was, and Jim Lee. No, Luigi. Guy named Luigi. So Luigi Teruel. if you guys know, but he does great work. So
looks like Wolvie fans here.
Jay, do you mind letting him in?
I've been here for like 20 goddamn minutes.
Are you drunk, dude?
Dude, yeah, man. I apologize. I thought it was 9 o'clock today, so it's my fault. I was at the nudie bar being bad, so sorry.
You know, I was going to use euphemisms and everything like that, but no,
Go
transparency.
ahead.
Wolvie fan is all about transparency.
Hey, you guys saw the movie, right? Everybody loved the Age of Apocalypse.
No, we haven't gone there yet. You're spoiling
shit. So
it.
you didn't even see the patch.
Yeah, no, we're going Michael, and you're just in time. You're just
all
in
right,
time.
man. Henry Cavill looks great as Wolverine. Everybody saw that?
Huh?
The movie? Nobody saw the movie?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, damn, dude, you got to see it.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
hold
will.
on.
I will, but
Wait.
I haven't seen it yet.
Deadpool Wolverine?
Yes.
No, we will kill your effing feed if you start spoiling that movie.
Okay, sorry. All I can say is they better be paying Adam Cuber for that killer Weapon X.
Hey, shut the fuck up. That's
all right,
all. Stop pressing.
Sorry, you pricks.
All right, guys. No more spoilers for Deadpool Wolverine.
Sorry.
All right. Carry on now. So I absolutely love this piece. It's the one piece in Michael's collection that I was like, hey man, if you ever want to move it, and I thought it was really, really appropriate to bring on here, considering it's Nick's show with Dynamite. So Red Sonja, Death and Scarlet #1. You know, tell me about this one.
So this one, it's Steve Lytle, who's an artist who I think is criminally underrated. I mean, unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but he did some amazing work back in the 1980s on Legion of Superheroes and Doom Patrol. And then, he did some Marvel work, I think mostly in the early 90s. A lot of it seemed to be in Marvel Comics Presents and some one-off issues here and there, like X Factor. And he did that beautiful piece you just got, James. Mm-hmm. And this was from a series. Well, it was supposed to be a series. It didn't get past a single issue, but a company called Cross Plains Comics, and I don't even know if they published more than one comic, had gotten the rights to Red Sonja in the late 90s and was going to do a revival with Steve Lytle on art, and the co-creator of the character, though based on the Robert E. Howard character, Red Sonja with a different spelling, Roy Thomas as the writer. And I was really excited. I remember when I heard about the comic, and it seemed to take forever to finally come out. It was worth the wait because the art was beautiful, but it was the only issue that we got. I think there were rights issues, distribution issues, whatever it may have been. But this is the only Lytle piece that I have. I'd love to have more. I'd particularly like a piece of Lytle Legion art at some point, but I think a lot of those are squirreled away in the collections of certain Legion art aficionados. So, but obviously he draws women quite beautifully, and really it's just his character designs, his action. I think if he had even a run of maybe 12 issues on a major Marvel book back in the late 80s or early 90s, even more people would know his name today because he was just that good.
Gotcha. No, I mean, the figure of Red Sonja is absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I'm a big Lytle fan. Actually, one of the pieces that I'll share and show is something I picked up from Nick Barucci, which is a Steve Lytle cover. So kind of excited about that. I wasn't planning on sharing it, but I thought it'd be kind of appropriate. So awesome, man. Well, I appreciate that. We'll move over to Rob. And so Rob kind of cheated. I was like, 3 to 4 pieces. So he picked one, but they were like all covers. Like I'll just show it. It's a connected cover. So what the hell is this, dude? What did you get?
Bro, thanks to you. You hooked me up with the fucking guy that was selling the Age of Apocalypse 2015 Gerardo Sandoval 5 covers that I've been hunting for a while, which because you've been helping me look for it. So that's what I got, and I love it. It goes well with my I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to put it up. I was trying to get it framed by today, but it didn't happen. It's it goes nice with my Age of Apocalypse from Chris Pachalo back in 2004. So
yeah, that's incredible. Like I remember when you got the Pachalo too.
that was all you, man. Now you hooked me up.
From Tim Townsend directly. Oh, well, for both of them. I helped you with both of them.
Yeah, you're a beast.
Yeah, well. So yeah, if you guys know not the original Age of Apocalypse, but the first time the Age of Apocalypse came around, Chris Pachalo did that book, and he had a bunch of connecting covers, and Tim Townsend had that set, and Rob picked it up. Because I talked to Tim, I think at Heroes a couple years ago, and he was mentioning selling some of the art. And then Geraldo Sandoval, who I've got a couple of pages are used to from, he did this one about in 2015, and it went up on Comic Link, right? And you forgot about it or something. Oh no, I think I bid for you, but it got outbid, and then the guy came around and was looking to sell it again. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
So by the way, this one starts at 11 cents.
11 cents. It's yours. Shipping is $27,000.
So no, it's awesome. And you have a number of multi connecting covers, right? Like
I got a few.
Yeah, like you have a Holtz, I remember, and a few other ones. Like it was kind of your thing.
Yeah, and that was. It still is. Geez, where the hell are they? I have them down. Well, I sold that one big one at the show at OAX.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Who was that one?
That was Bagley, 6 covers.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, and I helped you get that one too.
You sure did, brother.
Guys, if you want to know connecting covers, or if you're interested, let me know. Right, I'll find it for you. So
He never finds them cheap for you. They're always expensive.
Oh yeah, it's expensive art.
Do you charge a broker's fee, James?
Yeah, it
He
looks
does.
like Steve Lipsky. He claimed it for $25. So we'll give you Rob's email address afterward. That's $5 per cover, and $24,000 for shipping.
And I got that Killer Pal Hoots, which is nice.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we've got a few more minutes, so I'm going to go and do my quick shares, and then we'll see if Rob gets on. If not, we'll jump over to some sales and then come back to Rob Guillory. So, Jay, if you want to just do the screen on me, because I don't have this one as a slide because it's kind of a last-minute decision. This is what we were talking about. I picked this up from Mr. Barucci himself. So this is Steve Lytle, MCP 151 cover. With Wolverine and Typhoid Mary, Daredevil. It was just absolutely gorgeous. Pull a Wilson. I'm just going to cover my face completely. So, I mean, I've seen it in his collection forever. It was offered to me before it went on Heritage for a pretty obscene amount of money. Nick won it on Heritage for a damn steal, and then he kindly allowed me to pick it up for him for, fair, very, very fair. And was very, very generous on allowing time. So appreciate Mr. Barucci, the original OA ambassador, and let me pick that up. And then I'll share one that I got today that I had a slide later, but I'll skip the slide. We'll just stick to the shares now. This one is really, really cool. If you know, it's very, very niche. So I got this page. So what this is a published interior page for Usagi Yojimbo number 22,
Nice.
One from 1990.
Awesome.
This was a backstory to that issue that was done from Stan Saki and Ken Mitroni. I think the other one, Ken Mitroni, did a book called Space Arc. It was just 5 issues that didn't really go anywhere, but I guess he was friends with Stan. They did a crossover and 8-page crossover. And if you know Stan, he'll sell a cover or a pinup or two. He does not sell interiors. And so a couple pages, like Stan kept a couple pages, the artist and the writer and whoever, kept a couple pages. And somehow this got out. It was 2:30 in the morning on Saturday. And I was just back from the bar with my wife, and it showed up on eBay. And I'm just like, what the hell? So I instantly bought it, expecting it honestly to be fake, or expecting for someone to reach out to the guy in the midterm and jack it from me. Hey, Rob, good seeing you, sir. Or not, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
And it's actually, the rabbit that's done, the rabbit. Yasagi Miyamoto is done by Stan Sakai, and then the rest are done with by Kem Mitroni. So, yeah, man, I think I don't, and not to pile it on, I don't think an interior page has ever sold at auction, ever sold at dealer that I can see, and one has never been posted to CAF. So pretty excited about that kind of random pickup. And the part that pissed me off, just to add a little drama, I bought the page. I don't know if it was fake or not. And guy ships it. I'm like, holy shit, it ships. I can actually talk about it. I get a message 2 days later saying, hey, I shipped you the wrong art. Goddamn scam. But he gave me his address, phone numbers. Listen, I'm shipping the other one right away. As soon as you get it, ship my other piece back. I'm like, okay. Got it in a day, and no, it's legit. Signed by Stan and everything. So, yeah.
Do you know, has Stan ever said why he's holding on to his art, or does he have any plans for it?
I'll make my assumption, and I'll level it at that's it, just an assumption. If you guys know like Japanese manga, none of those artists sell their art. I think it's cultural. Again, I don't want to talk too far out of my comfort zone or expertise, right? But this is just, anecdotally what I've heard. So it's cultural. So I think, Stan is Japanese. So I think it's a cultural thing. I don't know what that means in the future. If he, situations change, things change, life changes. Will it be available? Will it go to some type of museum or conservatory? But yeah, man, that's what we got. And then I did ask the guy how he got the page. This will be the last story. It was a very, very, very long time Yosagi Yojimbo fan that passed away. And a friend of his is going through doing the consignments and selling some of the art. It doesn't have any more art, but selling a lot of the books. And he had this one page.
So I can tell you about that art because Tracy Kubert loves all that crap. And she says that they don't sell that stuff ever. So you're lucky to get that shit.
Yeah. Feels kind of weird. So, okay. I think let's move, Rob Guillory is supposed to join us in a second now. I'm going to ping him. But while I'm doing that, when are you guys going to San Diego Comic-Con? Have you ever been, Rob? Have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con?
Hell yeah, dude. I used to go when I was a kid. I went every probably 7 or 8 straight years in the 90s.
Ever any thoughts about going back?
Almost went this year because Adam was looking for help, so I was going to go with him, but I think he ended up giving the hell's his name, Quan, some stuff to sell for him. So no, I didn't go. But yeah, I'll probably go again next year. I mean, I wasted time going to Heroes, so I might as well go to San Diego again.
Oh, Heroes is fantastic.
Nah, that shit sucked. I don't know why people love it so much. But that's just my opinion. What the hell do I know?
Yeah, well, no one likes you, so maybe that's good.
I like nobody. Chicken nuggets, anyone?
I guess we'll do this. I just want to definitely absolutely keep the show moving because, one of the things on Nick's that I appreciate is it's tight for a Friday night. And, people want to get out, go have dinner, do things with their families. Oh, Mr. Guillory is here. Rob.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, how are you feeling?
I'm doing all right. Got a little allergy or cold or something I'm working through, but so you're gonna see me sipping on my tea like all night. That's
right. As long as you don't sound nasal, we'll be all right.
Cool. I'll do my best.
No, you're good. Cool. No, I appreciate you jumping on. So to kind of give you a little run up, and I told you from introduction from the audience, but. So this is Nick Brucci's show. They do a lot of art show and a lot of art sales. He's in San Diego, so he asked me to host it for this week. And I do some things with Bill Cox and comic art fans, but really, really in the hobby when it comes to comic art. Been buying comic art for 2016. Spent an absorbent amount of money buying comic art, and it all starts when I went on robguillory.com to figure out who the heck this artist was on this book this dude gave me, and saw some guy was selling original art. And I bought a page. I think it was from Chu 35. It was the one where Tony Chu flips the script for the first time and yells at the boss. He says F you. And I'm like, I want a page that says F you. And I don't remember what it was, like $250. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that is so much money for a page. And I got it in the mail, and it was 11 by 17, which I didn't expect. I got to see your lines, your design, your drawing. I'm like, this is really damn cool. So I bought, a few more pages, and of course I bought other art and other art and other art. And I think it's been 10 or almost 10 years, and it's just part of the hobby. So, when I was jumping on here, and we were chatting, I know you got a lot of things working that I'd love to talk to you about. And, just seeing if you wanted to join us and kind of talk on a Friday.
Cool, man. No, I appreciate it. I didn't realize that was your first page.
I know.
That's a good page. I distinctly, over 60 plus issues of Chew. It's you kind of lose track of things. I kind of forget sometimes. Like I go back and flip through the art every now and again, and sometimes I just kind of I forget it. So I'm kind of enjoying it from another perspective. But that is actually one of the pages I remember. Let me
real quick. Let me introduce you to the other two guys on the crew as one walks off. So Michael McIsaac, he's a collector out of New York.
Hey,
collecting for a long time. And when he knew that you were going to be on here, he read the first true paperback. He goes, I'm going to do my research. He was actually going to, what did you tell me? Pop a bunch of Adderall and see if you can make through 60 issues, but he didn't make it.
Yeah. I tried. But too much work going on. But I did read I read the first trade, and I'll definitely keep reading after that. It was a really good intro to the series, and your storytelling ability with the art is just absolutely wonderful. I've heard other people say that the hallmark of good comic book art is, in terms of the storytelling, is that you can really follow what's going on even if you aren't reading the dialogue. And that's definitely the case with your art that I've seen. And it's just really, your storytelling skills are just off the charts impressive.
And by the way, this wasn't a pat Rob on the back interview.
I'll accept it.
We're gonna destroy you later. But and then the other gentleman is Rob Gomez.
Rob, dude.
Hey, Rob.
Out of Florida, and just Rob's a huge Adam Kubert fan and friend with a lot of the X-Men art, and big collector out of Florida.
Cool.
Yeah, James has been talking about your freaking art and story for years, and he even sent me a couple of the goddamn.
Rob makes shit up all the time. Wolvie fan, not.
I haven't read them yet, but
I'm gonna say Wolvie fan so we don't get confused on the Rob.
That's all right, man. I ain't call me fat ass troll. I care.
I like. I'm seeing the Chris Bacalo piece behind you is beautiful.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. That's the Age of Apocalypse back in 2004.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, he collects. Are you? Well, I'll ask you this real quick. What did you grow up reading?
What, you're asking Wolvie fan or me?
Oh, you, Rob.
Okay.
Nobody cares about me, Rob. They want to know about you, brother.
Well, I kind of had a couple of different phases. So before I could actually read comics, I was digging through my uncles. I had a couple of uncles that were kind of like the prototypical comic geeks. They had this giant suitcase of 60s and 70s and 80s comics. Mm-hmm. So before I could even read, I was digging through that stuff. So I remember George Perez, Teen Titans. I remember Dreadstar. I remember Chris Claremont, John Byrne, X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you need to go find you one of those pages, Rob.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a second mortgage coming up?
Yeah, I'm just partial to that stuff. And then later on, when I started actually buying comics on my own, I came up and I started collecting right after Image got founded. So I remember distinctly being in the 3rd grade, I believe, and I remember one of my buddies saying, "Man, you got to see this new thing," and he reaches into his bag, like, what is he gonna pull out? And he pulls out this cover. It's New Mutants with Cable on the cover, and I'm like, "What is that?" Like,
hey, real quick, one of the people in the audience, Marcus Way. I don't know if he still is, but he's sitting next to Rob Liefeld at San Diego.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, Rob's a good guy.
Yeah, he draws great feet, doesn't he?
He has a good sense of humor about it, thankfully.
He does.
It's funny because
I saw his post on Instagram about the sign. I loved it.
I saw the movie yesterday, and they have a big ass sign.
No spoilers.
I'm not gonna spoil that Patch was on there, and they had a big store sign saying Liefeld's all feet, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. Rob, and I read his Instagram post, but he signed off on that. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah, no. So that era was the first stuff I was reading. All the early Image stuff. The X-Men and the mutant stuff around that time, Mark Silvestri and that sort of thing. Bishop, whenever Bishop was created.
If I meet you in a con again, I'll bring one of the notebooks and some of us too. But I've got a lot of Silvestri, some Jim Lee stuff, some. Yeah, I can definitely share some of that art if you want to check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. It sounds like you really went down the rabbit hole after you started picking up. Like, that's heavy.
Yeah,
you got him started, Rob.
I know. I know. To the detriment of my finances.
Sorry, I apologize to your wife.
Yeah, I know. She doesn't know. I hide it. She's never going to see this video. So as far as first thing, what inspired you to be an artist? Who's your favorite character? What character would you draw if you didn't have to draw any other character? I think those are the 3 questions you get asked every single time. So just nod and we can skip them.
Yeah, you forgot about where do I get my ideas from? That's
shit. I mean, it's the interview generic stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was always I would always tinker around with art. I was kind of built for it at a very young age. I was making art like kindergarten, but I just didn't really look at it as a viable career path. I'm in Louisiana, and we had, obviously no internet in the 80s, so we had no idea how any of this stuff worked. I kind of thought, I didn't think it was a real job. I didn't piece together that the people making the art were actual people. So I didn't start pursuing it really until college. But I was always making art. I was always making goofy little comics and that sort of thing. My entire grade school, middle school, high school career, I didn't get serious until college.
That's awesome. So we're going to do, somebody asked me from a generic question standpoint, how many pages, or what's the average amount of pages per week?
Okay. Generally speaking, depending on how complex the pages are, like if we're looking at, if it's a crowd of horses on a page, that's going to take a little longer. But generally speaking, I'm usually between 4 and 6 pages a week, penciled and inked.
Yeah, you keep a pretty tight deadline. So I'll ask it. So Jay is the engineer in the background. Just because I have juggling multiple screens and stuff, if questions come up for Rob, you throw them up on the screen, Jay, if you don't mind. So how we're going to do the interview is a little bit different. I wanted to try this format. So Rob's got 8 pages he's looking to sell, or we're offering for sale. And I asked him to pick 2 pages from Chu, 2 pages from Farmhand, and a couple pages from some of the big 2 stories he does. And so we're going to talk about the pages, what went in the pages, the characters on the pages, and ask questions. That way, it's kind of the interview side, but you got to see the art, and we don't have to separate them all. So we're gonna try the format and see how it works. Cool. So, Jay, if you don't mind throwing up the slide deck again, I will power through it. Oh, this is Rob Gomez just picked up that piece from Rob Sandoval. So, oh look, I got a action shot.
Oh, who's that young cat?
Yeah.
Full of hopes and dreams.
Where did the hair go?
All right. So we talked about Chu. So if you want to claim anything, this is part of the sales show, right? There's pricing on there. If you want to claim anything, just do claim. And I have a list of Rob Chu 1, Rob Chu 2. I think it's Rob Chu everything, or Rob Farmhand. So again, Chu was, well, kind of tell me about the Genesis, truncated, and story around Chu. And then more specifically on this page, tell me kind of what went into the page, some of the characters on it. And, one of the things that I really like you to talk about is all the Easter eggs. That was always been part of, my favorite aspect of your art.
Cool. Well, how do I even summarize Chu? It's a really weird book. So the entire premise of Chu is it's a world where there's been a bird flu pandemic, avian flu pandemic that's killed hundreds of millions of people, and the FDA has basically become the most powerful government agency in the world, and they've outlawed poultry, so you can't eat chicken. The only place you can eat chicken is in chicken speakeasies. So dark comedy, sci-fi kind of thing. The main character is a food psychic named Tony Chu, who gets psychic visions from what he eats. So if he eats, let's say, a hamburger, he gets to see and experience the life of the cow, which is pretty horrific. The only thing he can eat,
horrific for him, not for us, brother.
So basically, the only thing he can eat that doesn't give him psychic visions is beets. So he eats a lot of beets. But throughout the series, he basically has to use this ability to solve crimes and to find out the conspiracy behind the bird flu. So this particular page is it's from issue 24. This is by this time we've met Tony's extended family. He has an estranged daughter that's her on the page. That's Olive Chu is her name. And she's basically lining up with Tony's worst enemy, Mason Savoy, the guy with the beard at the bottom. So this is her basically leaving home in the middle of the night and lining up with the bad guys. So yeah, as James said, I do a lot of Easter eggs, especially on Chu. Chu, and this wasn't something I planned initially. Whenever I started doing Chu, like I'm a big fan of obviously Watchmen was a pretty big book for me, as most people. And basically every time I would pick up my copy of Watchmen on my coffee table, I would always see, I'd find new things in the background. It was just constantly rereadable. And I just thought that was a really great way to give the reader a constant value for their the biggest bang for their buck, basically. So I started kind of doing that in some of the early issues of Chu, just slipping in little background jokes and that sort of thing. And people started emailing and sending letters about them. And they just said, man, I really like that Shawshank Redemption reference you had in the background. And my writer, John Lehman, would never pay attention to this stuff. He didn't know it was even back there. So he was completely clueless. And it became like a running gag throughout the entire series. So on top of the core kind of ongoing linear story, there's also kind of this game going on between me and the audience, where I'm basically slipping stuff in. A lot of times I would actually kind of reference directly like the audience. So it's like this weird kind of like discourse between me and the audience on top of the actual story. So the panels here on the top of the page, the posters in the background actually were photoshopped. The images that were in the posters are photoshopped. Then the running gag was Robert Kirkman was basically her tiger beat. He was always, there were always photos of Robert Kirkman dressed as sexy fireman or that sort of thing in the background. And I don't know if he liked it or not, to be completely honest. I don't think he actually liked it, but we did it numerous times in the series. So that's why in the top panel it says, one of the posters says, Kirk Manley. So we had a lot of fun with the series overall. So, but this is one of my favorite pages. I just like, I like the angles of it. I like the action. I like the storytelling. So that's why I picked it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, all the powers are named and they're all based in Latin. So I think these are like Sebopaths, if I'm not mistaken. So, the S is at Wolverine on the bottom, it's Mason Savoy. And so what they can do is when the daughter, when she eats someone, like it doesn't have to eat them all, just a little taste, a nibble, right? In the ear or finger, she gains their memories and powers. So she starts, and I'm not going to go too much into it, but becomes a pretty powerful character toward the end.
Yeah. We kind of walk the line between completely like grotesque. We typically state most of the stuff takes place off panel. Thankfully, we do kind of play with gross out humor throughout it. It's a lot of fun. It ended up kind of finding a bigger audience than we really expected. Like there were more And oddly enough, the audience is fairly normal for such a weird book, which I also wasn't expecting either.
Well, what I liked about it when I was reading it is there's finality, there's consequences, and there's things that happen that in a normal big two book would be reversed, and they're not reversed. And you see a lot of that on the creator-owned indie stuff, right? There's a finality to the story. I was going to say at the end, I'll put up Rob's email address, or you can go to robguillory.com. A lot of people watch it on Rewind and then reach out afterward on the art side.
Cool.
So I just wanted to kind of let you know. So the next page, again, a lot of the humor on here. What I liked about this page is when you shared it, you got the three main characters on here, plus the God, what's the boss character's name? Appleby. That's right. You caught me in a brain fart. So yeah, I mean, kind of explain this page, some of the characters, what makes the characters unique.
Yeah. So every main character, my writer John Layman kind of did this gag where like every character in the book, period, has a food name. So John Kobe, Kobe cheese, Kobe Jack cheese. John Kobe is the cyborg sidekick partner. Tony Chu, of course. Chu is in food. Amelia Mintz is his girlfriend. Mintz. Mason Savoy is a type of sausage. So yeah. So it's running throughout the book. So this is from issue 41, where the main characters are in Vegas on some kind of side mission for the FDA, and they end up going to a bar. Part of the fun of this, as I said, was a lot of just the world is so over the top. So everything is just turned up to 11. So in this case, when John gave me the instruction to draw a bar, it's time to go completely crazy with it. It's not just going to be a bar. It's going to be the world of vodka. It's going to have crazy signs, just kind of making fun of the thing. And beet vodka, again, the only thing he can drink or that he can eat that doesn't give him psychic visions is beets. So beet vodka is the only vodka he can have that doesn't give him any side effects. So that's kind of like this is just one of my favorite panels, just because it's so over the top. You have the drunken folks lining the way to the bar. It makes me chuckle. So I'm a fan of it.
I would say this would be a great page to frame and hang up over your own personal bar. So, I mean, $300, all three main characters, Tony Chu, and you got the humor, you've got the bar aspects. So really, really nice page. Really nice page. So, and then this next one from the Chu series, I love this one. This was my favorite of your three. Because Tony's in full badass mode, punching, kicking, fighting. He's not bad. He's a pretty good martial artist. He ends up being. So yeah, I mean, just kind of talk about the energy and the fluidity, and just kind of what went into this one.
Well, I'm a big fan of another. I think I'm probably more influenced by animation than comics, really. I mean, as much as I love comics, I grew up with Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and that sort of thing. So I kind of think in cartoon, and that kind of comes across in the art. So usually action tends to be, like I said, over the top, very, very kicked up to 11. So in this case, it comes across in the actual action scenes. Anytime we have a fight scene or anything like that, it's kicked up all the way. Personally, I mean, I just really I like everything about the layout of this page. I like kind of the menacing nature of Tony in panel number 1. I love panel number 2. I'm a big fan of that kind of coming off panel, knocking them in the face, over the top reaction. And then all of the action, the multiple fists in panel 3. It's a lot of fun. So,
well, I know like a lot of the fight scenes and the violence side, of course, you have the cartoony aspect, but bones get snapped, people get chopped in half, blood splatters. It almost, I mean, it came out way before, or I don't know if it came out before, but like kind of The Boys, like so can be over the top that you don't get grossed out. Like you kind of get into the story. It doesn't make you queasy. Well, some things. I mean,
it's very deliberate. It's very deliberate. So I always think of Chu as sort of like a kind of like a Michael Bay. Like if Michael Bay had to make like a really crazy cop sci-fi kind of movie, it would probably be like a Chu. I'm a big fan of that kind of like 80s aesthetic of just being way over the top. It's kind of silly. So etouffee or jambalaya? That's a good question.
Oh yeah, we have a question. Payment options and info. I think for the Chu pages or for Rob's pages, it is all up front. Of course, he takes PayPal, right? If I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
You take PayPal through the Rob Guillory website.
Yeah.
So PayPal has options if you want to see that. I will post a note with everyone's email addresses, so you can either. What would be the best way to contact you? Would it be go to your website and put in a contact note on there and just name it here,
or you can hit me. You can hit me directly. My email is robguillory@gmail.com.
Okay, I'm gonna write that one down.
Okay,
because I'm gonna post that at the very end too.
Sweet.
Right,
what are you working on now, Rob?
I'm working on too many things at once. I'm working. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's always a good thing, man.
Yeah. No, it's good. So I'm finishing up my the creator-owned series, Farmhand. That was my follow-up to Chu. So that's going to be 26 issues by the end. So I'm drawing the last 2 issues now. On top of that, I'm doing a bunch of work for hire stuff. I'm doing a video game. It's a comic adaptation of a video game that's coming out next year from Microsoft. So I get a lot of interesting kind of side gigs.
Minesweeper? No,
What's that?
Minesweeper?
No, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. But it's very appropriate for my kind of stuff, and it's been a blast to work on. So that, and I'm kind of kicking around stuff for next year too.
It's awesome.
You ever wanted to work one of the big two, like doing a Superman or a Wolverine book or some crap like that?
I've done a little bit. Like I've done some Thor. I did a little bit of Batman. It's fun. I think I don't know. It's interesting. Like I'm kind of like not your standard superhero guy. Like I like the characters, but I'm not. I don't know. I like having the freedom to just kind of do my own thing. Which is why like I've always gravitated toward the creator-owned thing. Like I like superheroes. I like that sort of thing. But obviously like Marvel and DC are very protective of this stuff. They want it done a certain way, and I think I would probably love to get more crazy with those characters than they would allow me to. It's been fun. Like I've done a little bit of Spider-Man 2 here and there. That stuff's super, super fun. But I think my favorite thing I've done as far as big 2 was I did a one shot for the Red Hood last year.
Oh, nice. DC.
Yeah. I basically told them whenever DC came at me, I just said, just give me anything Batman. Just give me Batman. He's really the guy I want to deal with. So anything Batman I've ever done there has always been tons of fun.
Anybody hate working on?
Anybody I hate working on?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell us. I mean, there's just 30 or 40 of us. No one's going to tell nobody.
Who have I hated? I can't think. I know who I'm not interested in. Like, I'm not really a big like Suicide Squad, like that, like those like kind of side characters. Like, I'm more like classic.
You want meat and potatoes. You don't want James' favorite is Aquaman talking to fish. You're not into that shit.
Yeah.
However, I know you've always wanted to do a meat and plastic man.
That'd be cool. Good humor. I can see you doing that. You got some humor going on, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
I think the first original art cover I ever bought was your cover to Venomize Thanos.
Oh yeah.
So there's a Thanos cover with a Venom symbiote, and then all the characters were in a pile at the bottom, and Hulk's butt was sticking out with Wolverine. It was pretty nuts. It was pretty nuts.
Anytime I get offered anything Marvel or DC, I just basically tell them I'm going to use as many characters as I possibly can. I just slip them in. So that was that cover. They gave me an option of usually when they do like a line of kind of variant covers. They give you choices. So I picked Thanos and I said, that's fine. I'm slipping in every Marvel. All the Avengers are going to be in it. I don't know when's the next time I'm going to get to draw these characters. So I'm putting them all in this one thing.
It was really cool. Actually, I think from a trade perspective, I still have a ton of your art, but I think Nick Barucci actually got that cover from me.
Nice.
We did have a question. CJ Design, brush pin, ink pins?
Yeah, it's a mix. I have I have these zebra brush pens that they're kind of they're not like the pit brush pens. Pit brush pens tend to be a lot. I'm getting into geek territory here. I'm sorry. But usually most brush pens tend to be really kind of flexy. The ones I use are kind of more stiff, so they're somewhere between brush and pen. It's kind of hard to describe, but I use a mix of different things.
Yeah, what you told me once is your creative process is very messy. And you do not like to share prelims because, well, they're pretty messy.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very. I mean, I love kind of getting all in there, and I like the texture. I mean, in the original art that I buy, that I have, I like feeling the art. I like the texture of the page and feeling the ink and that sort of thing. So I'm very hands-on.
Kind of a transition. I guess we're watching Wolvie fan cribs as we look around the room.
Yeah, man. I'm a fat fuck, dude. I gotta move a little bit every once in a while. I'm not in great shape like freaking Gilroy over here. I gotta move and adjust.
Jay in editing is going to have to beat so much of this out.
Dude, I was at the nudie bar for the last 3.5 hours. And I had so my body's aching.
So speaking of transitions, we have a couple pieces we wanted to show from the current book, Farmhand. Mm-hmm. So in this one, kind of on, when they ask, well, can you explain Farmhand? And when I ask you to explain Chu, you're like, well, where did we start? Kind of the same thing, right? Kind of the same thing. Yeah. So from an introductory standpoint, what's the elevator pitch on Farmhand?
Farmhand is about a Southern farmer who grows human organs. He grows plug-and-play stem cell transplants, and he heals a bunch of people, becomes very rich and famous in the process, and then all of a sudden, all the people who got the transplants start to mutate and change into other things. So again, it's still got some comedy elements here and there, but I think it's a good bit darker than Chu. It's probably way more family drama, sci-fi, horror. This page in particular is kind of cues in on that. This is from issue 11, so we're pretty deep into the story by then. It takes place in the South, where I'm from. So in this case, they're visiting the local, basically the local witch doctor, the local voodoo lady, who also has a transplant. It goes south. She attacks them. So that's what's going on here.
Yeah, they grow organs and everything off trees. One thing on Farmhand, it's something I guess I want to talk to you about. I think it's issue number 16. Don't quote me on that. Mm-hmm. Where you kind of explore the past and you explore some pretty deep, I guess, racist. Mm-hmm. And I guess talk about that issue. That one stuck with me. When they talk about like the family history and some, we all know what happened in the South in the 1800s.
Yeah, I mean, Farmhand was always a very delicate. It was an interesting exercise in doing all of that. So like when I started Farmhand back in 2016, right as Chu was ending, things were there was a focus that was kind of shifting, where people were kind of starting to focus on trying to do more like diverse stories and that sort of thing. And that's a whole bag of, that's a lot. But basically I knew that I didn't want to ever get lumped into just some kind of gimmick. So from the very beginning, I kind of knew that I didn't want Farmhand to just be, I didn't want to lead with race on Farmhand, which is kind of a weird thing to say. But I didn't want it to be a book just about race. I wanted it to be a book about a family that anyone could relate to. So really the racial elements don't even come into it until way later. But I always knew, I mean, it takes place in the South. It's a farmer. It's a black farmer. He's a third generation black farmer, which any black farmer in reality, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes with that, a lot of backstory. So it was always sort of insinuated. But by the time you get to issue 11, we know the characters. We know the current plight of things. We haven't really dipped into the deeper kind of mythology behind the town. So basically, by the time you get to issue 11, the issue you're talking about, the issue that we just saw the page from, that's when we start seeing that, oh, there's actually like there's an undercurrent here. There's like a backstory. There's all this this kind of like supernatural thing, the supernatural element to the book we didn't really know about. So that's kind of what this issue is about in particular. It's hitting at the past, not just the racial element, but also like a deeper kind of like, oh, this isn't just sci-fi. There's a supernatural thing going on here. So this is really when the shift starts to happen in this issue.
Awesome. I'll switch over to issue 18. And Michael McIsaac, I know you're binge reading Chu, so you need to double up and switch over to Farmhand right after. He's on mute.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, definitely it'll be next up on the list of stuff to read.
Cool.
So what do we got going on this one?
All right, so this is issue 18. So by this point, the story has shifted. Things are taking a turn. More and more folks are just getting sick and turning into creatures and monsters and whatnot. So this actually, I didn't even notice this. This is actually the same character, the old lady, the witch doctor lady from the previous page we just looked at. This is several issues later. So she's basically become sort of a vegetable. And her organs are her transplants, the plant growths that are coming from her are basically kind of running the show now. So she's not mentally there anymore, but she's still kind of being driven by the demonic kind of transplants. It's pretty dark, like I said. So this is a dark page. I've always liked just the pure storytelling of this page, which is why I picked it.
So I know on your website you have a number of pages up, so as people read it, they can check that out. I know from Farmhand, there's still quite a few, right? Pages available. So pick the story, pick their elements. Some of the early, a lot of the early stuff has absolutely been purchased. I know I was able to get a couple promo pieces that you did before the book even came out that actually got turned into covers. So that was pretty awesome. And then the final Farmhand piece. Man, look at this splash. What the heck is going on here?
Oh, yeah. This is at the end of the same issue. So this is Monica Thorne. Monica Thorne is she's basically the villain of the book. She was basically the co-creator of the seed that grows the human organs. We find out through the course of the book, she's basically, there's been an incident, as there often is. There was an incident. She's been infected by her own creation, and again, she's turning into something completely different. So this panel is her basically abducting Jed, the farmer character, the primary character of the book, the farmer. She's abducting him, taking him somewhere, and it's not good. It's not good at all. So yeah, I'm a fan of this page. It's really and anytime I get to kind of really dip into the big monstrous horror kind of elements of the book, it's always a lot of fun. So that's why I picked this one. Well,
I'm going to claim this one if no one else does. So we'll see at the end. I saw that. I love the work on this one. So before we move on to the last two pages, which are DC pages, the question always comes up. I won't categorize it as a generic one, but how has other media gone when it comes to the Chu and the Farmhand series?
Okay. You mean
Corey claims awesome, Corey.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man. So you think you're asking just about like adaptations or?
No, I'll talk about that at the end.
Okay.
How's the TV series going?
Oh, okay. For which one? For Chu or Farmhand?
Both, man.
Okay. Well, with Chu was a learning curve because we were young. We were so innocent, and whenever Chu came out back in 2009, we got interest from Hollywood immediately. So but we didn't know what we were doing. We were completely new to the whole thing. So what we've learned over the course of the last 15-ish years is that not everyone in Hollywood is who they claim to be. So basically, we've optioned Chu. Chu's been optioned about a half a dozen times. So the last it was at Showtime for a while. Got pretty close to getting made at Showtime. That didn't work out for various reasons. I actually did a YouTube channel, an episode all about it. So it went from there, and then it went to Heavy Metal. We were going to do an animated series there. That got pretty close. We actually had Stephen Yeun, who was Glenn from Walking Dead, was Tony Chu. Felicia Day was Amelia Mintz, the lead love interest, and David Tennant was Boy. We actually had Robin Williams. Yeah, but he ended up passing. He ended up passing like right after he signed the contract.
Hell of a cast.
Yeah. So that fell through. Then we were at Skybound. We were at Skybound for another 2 years, and they really had a hard time with Chu. We love Skybound. Kurtman's a good friend. He's been really good to the book. But yeah, it just never really worked out. And then from there, we went to Warner Brothers. We were at Warner Brothers for 2 years. Again, I think they didn't know what to do with it. So it's been knocking around a good bit. Where it is right now is we have some interest. There's always interest. There's interest in a live action series. The person who is interested in it right now, I can't say who, but I will say that it would be a best case scenario if it worked out. This director in particular, his sense of humor and his ability, like everything he touches is pretty fantastic right now. And he's apparently a giant Chu fan. So we're having some talks with him about it. And with Farmhand,
I'm going to guess Kevin Smith.
I can't say.
Okay.
I like Kevin. I do like Kevin Smith. But with Farmhand, I optioned it at AMC back in 2018.
Yeah. And then something happened, right? Like an entire pandemic.
Yeah, that didn't help. That did not help at all. But no, it was a cool experience. It was a very different experience than the Chu one, because with Chu, I'm a co-owner with Chu. I'm not even to see the other co-owner. With Farmhand, it was just me. So with Farmhand, I basically took the reins of that one and said, well, I want to be in everything. So if it's going to get made, I'm going to be in all the meetings. I want to write the pilot, and it went really well. So I actually ended up getting a deal at AMC. So for 2 years, I was basically writing the pilot, and it went really well. And then COVID happened. Yeah. And COVID basically knocked everything out. So like it completely rocked everything. And the head of television ended up leaving. The head of television at AMC ended up leaving. And anytime that happens, it's kind of like when the king dies. It's like the new king's going to kill everyone. Yeah. So basically, that's what happened. The new head of AMC came in with a completely different vision, and they said, "Well, we really like this, but it isn't consistent with the new vision." Which I'm not sure what the new vision is. I think it's just a million.
19 Walking Deads.
Yes. But I mean, to be fair, that's not it seems to be working out pretty.
Naked and Afraid on? No, that's Discovery.
Quick question, not to interrupt. Well, I guess I am interrupt. Yeah. You're what are you closer with Farmhand or with Chu, getting it out there in the in TV world?
Which am I closer?
Like which one do you think is gonna? I mean, I've never read either, but I hear great things about both products. But you're dealing with both. Which one do you think is going to probably get the green light before the other?
He's trying to figure out what art to buy. So
no, man, not at all.
I can respect that. I think Farmhand is going to happen before Chu.
Oh, nice. And that's all you.
Yeah.
Even better.
I mean, I think Chu is just such a weird. They're both weird. I mean, I tend to like really off the wall kind of original concepts, but Chu is so out there, and it's so. I think it can probably only work in animated. I think it has to be fully animated for it to work. So I don't know, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Farmhand will probably happen before Chu.
Man, you know how happy James is going to be being friends with a multimillionaire? You made his day.
I'm friends with you, Rob.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm a nobody.
All right. Well, let's knock out these kind of the last two, and I appreciate everything. So these last two are from DC, and Rob mentioned a little bit earlier, one of the books he worked on was Red Hood. So Red Hood #1. This one is like the Scarecrow Red Hood. It's awesome. And I hate DC. No, I don't hate DC. I'm more of a Marvel fan. I used to have a bunch of DC work. So so how did you get involved with Red Hood? What were you trying to accomplish? What's going on with this page?
Yeah, I had DC for years was the only company I hadn't done any work for. And back in I believe it was 2016 or 17, they ended up reaching out of the blue and said, "Hey, we have this stuff. Would you like to play around?" Like, sure, why not? So I ended up doing a bunch of little backup stories, some Batman stuff here and there, some Big Barda and Mr. Miracle, or Miracle Man, or is it Miracle Man? Mr. Miracle? It's the escape artist.
Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle, yes. Okay. Yeah, right. Miracle Man's way darker.
Michael McIsaac is one of our resident encyclopedias.
Okay, cool. That's good. Good timing. And then eventually they came back and said, hey, we got this other thing. It's 30 pages of Red Hood. And I said, anything Batman universe, yes, I'm in. So yeah, this is where this came from. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I got to play around with a lot of the toys I grew up with, which was really, it's usually my goal anytime I work for Marvel or DC is I want to have fun with those characters. So this one, the entire issue is Jason Todd trying to, one of his childhood friends that we introduced in the book ends up getting killed. And he is trying to solve the mystery of what happened. He ends up running into Scarecrow, which is what happens here. Scarecrow ends up infecting him with the fear toxin. And basically he has to, over the course of 30 pages, he ends up running through basically his best hits are his worst hits. He runs through his death. He runs through being buried, having to dig out of it, coming back to life. He runs through his fears with Batman. Bruce appears in it. So he ends up having a battle with all of himself, basically. That's all his different versions. So it was a lot of fun.
Gotcha. And we've got this one battling Scarecrow, and we've got this one from the second issue. And what's going on here? Oh, is that Batman?
Yes. So by this point he's fighting all of his other versions. So there's Red Hood. There's I guess there's a Batman version of himself, maybe from the future or something. Red Robin's there. Like he's fighting the Jason Todd Robin also. He's fighting all the different versions of himself. He's having to basically defeat all of these dream versions of himself. And Bruce is there. Our dream version of Bruce is there, basically messing with him the entire time. So it's a bunch of fear visions.
It's awesome. And what other DC books have you done? Like from a one-off perspective? Mostly
backups. Mostly I've done, there was a couple Batman, one with Batman and who was it? It was the Mad Hatter. It was a Batman Mad Hatter short. That was a lot of fun. What else? The Big Barter one. And I did a Constantine, a John Constantine one with
oh yeah, I remember that one.
Great character.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that one was for heavy metal or for dark metal, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that spinoff they did after with Batman and all them. It was called Dark Metal.
There you go. Yeah,
and Keanu might be coming back. I saw that on some Stephen Colbert interview, like Constantine in the theater.
Okay. Yeah, I was okay with the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
Because they asked Stephen Colbert asked him on an earlier show, what one character would you like to revisit, like years ago? Mm-hmm. He's like Constantine, and of course when Keanu says anything, they're like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So he mentioned before on a recent interview. So you've got the Farmhand you're currently working with, but I know you're doing some other things outside or some other media ventures. You have a YouTube channel. Where you're putting out shorts, or you just started your YouTube channel? Mm-hmm. What's going on there?
Well, I mean, YouTube was probably the one space I never thought I would go into, and people had been asking me to do it for years, and I thought it's never going to happen. And I think I just got really, I don't know, I started getting kind of jaded with kind of the YouTube comic scene. And I just didn't see a lot of really good conversation about the industry, and it just drove me crazy. Because usually at shows, like there's so many knowledgeable people who know so much about the industry, but no one was really talking about it. YouTube ends up being a lot of hyperbole, a lot of drama, and it just kind of made me sad. So I decided, you know what, I think I would just give it a shot, see what happens, and it's gone really well. It seems like there's been a surprising amount of people who just like comics. They're interested in it. They don't really know a lot about it. I started thinking a lot about, basically I'm making the show for myself, but like the me that I was when I first started trying to break into comics, there wasn't a lot of resources. No one really talked about, like there's a lot of resources teaching you how to draw like a horse or how to draw Batman, right? But there's not a lot of resources telling you about what the industry is actually like. Like, what is it actually like to have a life in this industry and earn a living.
Well,
so
and
that's
I liked, yeah, when I watched a few episodes, and well, all of them, but it's I guess transparent, straightforward, and it's just information. Like, it doesn't, like you mentioned, it doesn't come across sensationalist. It's entertaining. I didn't fall asleep on any of them.
We're good.
But it was just, and of course, yeah, it worked out real well. So now you have YouTube, and then the other venture is Patreon, right?
Yeah. I'm dipping into Patreon. I think I definitely see a future kind of leaning into, I would say, some crowdfunding, some self-publishing. And the more, I mean, my entire career has been really grassroots. It's always been word of mouth. It's never been a lot of marketing surrounding any success I've ever had. I mean, even with Chu was not a book that was supposed to be successful. The initial sales for Chu were only 4,000 copies. It was not a successful book from the beginning. And then the first issue came out, and word of mouth made that book a super successful book. So I think I'm leaning more into that, leaning more into my audience and kind of trying to serve them more. And what's cool is I've been surrounded by a lot of surprising, like I said, surprisingly normal, decent human beings. Like, a lot of people who buy my stuff end up being really sweet people. And I've become friends with you included. Like, there's a lot of guys, a lot of folks that have been really, really sweet. So I think I'm just leaning a bit more into that and trying to feed them more and kind of give them more what they're clamoring for. And so far, it's going really well. And Patreon's part of that.
I'll tell you, I mean, again, all this art, I mean, you can see much more on Rob Guillory's site. You do a lot of wrestling stuff. So I know you've got a lot of, you've done some wrestling comics, big fan of wrestling. And then I know you do a lot of commissions. And I know a lot of you guys are on comic art fans. Check out Rob's commissions, man. A lot of them are pretty nuts. Real good job when it comes to the commissions, really working with, the person doing the commissioning. And so, definitely good results there.
Thanks, man.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
I got a text a few minutes ago from a regular, Jason D'Ambrosio. He said, James isn't asking the hard-hitting questions. Ask Rob who was the nicest of Image to work with and who was the biggest jerk-off.
By the way, and again, Wolvie fan's lying, but it's still a decent question.
I'm going to send it. Rob, what's your number? I'm going to text it to you. I'm telling you. This is from him.
All right. Let's see. Who is the nicest? I'll tell you. I'll say that Todd McFarlane. I've hung out with him a few times, and he's such an interesting guy. The first time I met him was at the very first Image Expo. I forget what year it was, but I was with my co-writer on Chu, Layman, and we're getting into an elevator, and the elevator opens up, and there's Todd McFarlane, and there's Jim Valentino, and we walk in, and Layman introduces me to Todd, and Todd, I don't know if he's been trained in how to do this or he just knows how to do this, but he shook my hand with two hands. He did a two-handed handshake with like full eye contact with a giant smile. And I felt like the most important guy. I was like, oh my God.
It was a moment. It was a moment.
He's so happy to see me right now. And it just stuck with me. And years
He knows how to make everybody feel special. Adam Kubert told me the same thing. He goes, man, when you meet Todd, man, he makes you feel like you're the only guy in the room.
He'd be a good politician.
Yeah, and then years later at another Image Expo in 2018, when I announced Farmhand, we're hanging out, we're in Portland, and we're in the green room, and everyone's in there. Kurtman's there, Todd's there, and I'm standing there. I just presented and announced Farmhand. I'm on my phone talking to my wife, giving her the update. And Todd walks in, and Todd has an a cordless electric shaver. He's walking around the room. He's doing this. He's shaving. I'm like, what are you doing? And he walks up to me and he says, is that your wife? I'm like, yeah. He's like, let me talk to her. I'm like, honey, this is Todd McFarlane wants to talk to you. I'm sorry. And I just hand him the phone, and they just started talking for like 15 minutes. I don't even remember what they talked about. But that's Todd. Like, he's hilarious, man. And he's a bundle of energy. So I love that guy.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. He's super, super cool. I mean, whether it's real or not, he makes you feel like you're part of the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Rob, I know Jay will cut me off at a certain time, but I really appreciate you jumping on. You're more than welcome to stay. But you mentioned you might, bounce off or not. We're going to do a small art sale with Michael and Wolvie Fan.
Okay.
There's some that they wanted to show and share and sell. Again, more than welcome to stay on.
Okay.
And so I think Jay's posted all the links in the YouTube chat to your Patreon, to YouTube channel, and to your website, robguillory.com.
Awesome.
Corey, the email to claim that one piece, which was a hell of a claim, especially some of the information came out later. It was in the chat too, so just email Rob and he'll get that taken care of for you.
Cool.
But all right. Well, I'm gonna
listen. This Guillory cat, man, he knows his stuff. He's a professional. He didn't say he didn't say anybody was the bad guy in Image. He only talked about the good guy.
He doesn't want to burn bridges. He's still building his career.
I like this dude.
Eric Larson.
Catch me after hours at a show. I'll tell you everything you want to know.
Oh, I got a couple good ones from a couple people that can't draw feet. I got some good ones for you, my friend. Hey, it was a pleasure, dude. You're super cool.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Well, if you want to see some of the art or hang out with us, we're just going to jump into a small little claim sale.
Okay. Cool.
So this one, we're going to start out back and forth between. No, I think we're just going to go with Michael, and then we're going to go Wolvie Fan. Cool. So Michael, you got 4 pieces. We got 28 people watching. I know they all want to claim, or they can claim it after the show. Start going. What do we got right here?
Is that me or is that Michael?
It's one of Wolvie Fans.
Oh.
Freaking James is all into Mr.
Oh, that's Rob. Yeah, Rob. Okay, this is Wolvie Fan.
You don't care about us, Michael. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of our own shit.
Go ahead, Wolvie Fan.
It's
cool. The whole damn deck together. So.
Cool little Fantastic Four page from McCone and Andy Lanning or Cam Smith. Actually, I can't tell the difference in the inking, but they're pretty close. $450. Nice thing page. Where are you, Chris? That's for you, brother.
Chris Norick. Look at thing in the bottom panel.
Yeah, that's a nice little piece.
Yeah. Keep going, or you ready?
Yeah, come on, man. They know right away if they want it or they don't want it.
Dale Keown. When's the last time there's been a Dale Keown on the Experience with Nick?
No,
look, big old Hulk like that.
Go back to April Heritage. That piece sold for $4,500, and the guy traded it to me. He gave me a great deal, so I'll sell it for $3,900. Anybody wants it, it's yours. Payments are good. You can pay me in whatever 3, 4, 5, 6 months. We'll do it through my website. If not, I'm giving it to Guillory at half the price.
Oh shit, that's a steal.
Yeah, nice deal. It's issue 371 when Doctor Strange and what the hell's that guy with the freaking wings on his feet? Submariner. They were messing with Hulk who was possessed. So it's a pretty badass page.
Yes, they sell those for that.
Marcus is an idiot. Just to make sure I'm clear, Marcus, you're an idiot. No one sells those for $1,000. Don't play that bullshit game with me. Play that with someone else.
No. In Marcus's credit, Anthony accidentally sold a Dale Keown page for $1,000.
No, not that nice. I was there. It was bullcrap. Marcus full of crap.
What's your website?
WolvieFansComicArt.com.
All right. Are you on YouTube? Just put that in the notes.
No, I'm not. But I'm going to be with Guillory next week on his show.
You just booked yourself.
All right, Chris. Pachalo. We talked about Pachalo earlier. This one's a little bit more affordable than those 6 connecting covers, but this is from Gen X.
Wow.
From issue 1, it's iconic. When that book came out, everybody loved it. $650. Pachalo.
This is issue -1. Just FYI.
Yes. Issue -1. I meant to say that, but I missed it.
But the lady on there, that's Emma Frost. That's a white queen, and she's being confronted by a bunch of bullies. And on the next page, like they go to attack her, and some of her powers initiate for the first time, and it doesn't work well for the bullies. But it's Pachalo Alve, 90s Gen X page for pretty inexpensive.
Well, thank you, sir. I thought it was a decent price, and everybody loves that Snow Queen girl.
It's a beautiful page.
Well, thank you.
Half off to Rob.
Oh no, dude! If he wants it, I'll give it to him for free. No joke. I ain't playing.
Oh, don't do that.
I'm serious.
I take you up on that.
Just don't sell it on me because shit'll piss me off. But you want it, it's yours. I bought it from James 2 years ago for like $400. It's yours if you want it.
He's transparent.
I will absolutely take you up on that. That's a beautiful page.
Claim Rob Guillory.
We'll trade a couple. You send me a couple, I'll give you that page. No joke. James knows I don't play around. You wanted a jersey.
That's beautiful. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. James, hook it up afterwards.
Will do. So now we've got Venomverse by Nick Bradshaw.
Nice cover.
$2,500 for a Venom Bradshaw cover with all the characters on it. It was actually really, really damn good. And the Venomverse, I remember the story. It was written by Colin Bunn.
Yes.
That was when I was really, really big into Venom. And it, Venom versus the Poisons. It was an interesting story, and it moved on to like Death of Venomverse and all these other Venom crossovers. But it was actually when Venom first became, kind of reemerged and started getting really big again. So, if you shop, Bradshaw covers, I think Rob's a little bit cheap on this one. I think when it originally sold, I remember on Quan's site for like, 3,500 4K. So I'm sure he picked it up.
Yeah, I got a really good trade for it. And, look, I ain't like the other dealers. I don't need to anally rape somebody. I'm good. Let me make a few bucks. I'm happy. Oh, sorry. Oh, is it a PG-13?
You're
not go watch.
Sure. Let's keep it PG-13.
I hope my 10-year-olds aren't watching.
Remember, we're not. This is the early show, Rob. It's the early.
Movie Deadpool. They're stabbing each other in the balls, so don't go watch that.
Like we're not at 9:00.
This is my bad. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, Rob. I'm usually a gentleman. I apologize. You brought the crazy out.
And a scholar.
Yeah. So I know a lot of the guys sell these covers for like 4 and 5 Gs. I don't have much into it. If I can turn it over for $2,500, I'm going on vacation next week. I can buy myself some liquor and good stuff. We're good.
So James, unfortunately, it does seem to go into rated R territory.
Yeah, Siegal's a troublemaker.
Yeah, 4 pages. You guys know how to reach Rob with Wolverine Fans Comic Art. Again, I'll post all the emails at the very, very end. Now we'll switch over to Michael McIsaac. And there's a very claimy, very inexpensive page that Michael has. So I'm curious to see how quickly it goes. It's not this one, but this one's nice.
I like this one a lot. It's Gene Ha pretty early on in terms of his DC art career. This was part of a what was called a Trinity crossover between Green Lantern, Legion 93, and Dark Stars. And even then, very distinctive art style from Gene. Killer work all around. Nice shots of Green Lantern flying.
If it doesn't sell here, it goes up on eBay.
It probably will.
I know. Michael's been just killing it on eBay. Killing it.
Trying to bring back some of the old school, fun on eBay. Mm-hmm. With there's a lot of Drek on there, so
add to it, man. Add to it. All right. This one, it wasn't the page I was talking about, but look at all the ladies.
There's a lot of ass in that.
This was the final page from the final issue of the Extreme X-Men series from the early 2000s, which was, I think, sort of Chris Claremont's consolation prize when they booted him off of the X-Books to make room for Grant Morrison to take over. And it was a good run. And I feel like it gets forgotten these days, but it was a pretty decent series. It was Igor Korty and Norm Ratman on inks. And you've got on this page, you have Rachel Summers, Kitty Pryde, Magma, Cannonball, Bishop, Gambit, Rogue, Sage, and Storm's the one whose back is to us and who's in the bottom panel.
That's a nice page. It's a nice page. It's Friday's payday, guys. We all know that. Splurge a little. All right.
And if anybody's watching this afterwards, I won't put it on eBay. I won't put anything on eBay right away. So I'll put out my email address. You can reach out to me. And I'm also on CAF as Michael McIsaac, so pretty easy to find over there. So this one, you've got Excalibur from 1993 by Salvador LaRocca and Scott Koblish.
97, but look at that
97, yeah. And you've got, in the top panel, you have Colossus and Wolfsbane fighting a bad guy, and you've got Megan at the bottom, and 2 panels with Spiral, including a really nice one in that bottom corner of her coming right at you.
This is the page that I liked. That spiral image. You don't see her too much. Big Excalibur fan. So man, $350. Someone should grab this one because I might have a conversation with Michael afterward.
She has a hell of an appearance in Wolverine Deadpool.
Shut up. Any takers? Going once? Oh, you guys are sleeping. What would Nick Barucci say at this point? 11 cents. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do an eBay auction.
The Booch would have bought it already.
Yeah, that's right. He would have bought all these pages. All right, one more.
No, wrong picture. I'm not selling.
No.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's supposed to be. My bad, dude.
Not selling
Okay.
Superman Distant Fires page. It's a DC Challenge page. I'll throw it up on my calf gallery.
Actually, do you have it with you?
Let's see. Do I? It's huge.
My
it's
bad.
one of those oversized pages. I don't know how well you can see it up on the screen. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
So this was Rick Holberg, Dick Giordano from the DC Challenge series from the mid 80s, which if you're familiar with it, it was a series the DC did 12 issues, a different creative team each issue. And the purpose was that each issue would end on a cliffhanger that, the writers would try to, box the creative team for the next issue into a corner, make it difficult, and, for them to, try to solve that issue's cliffhanger. And, it was, the story was so, but the artwork on it, there were really some great artistic creative teams.
Who is that? The team on this one again?
So this one's Rick Holberg, who I think is best known for, he did work on Star Wars, All-Star Squadron, and a couple other DC books. I think he might have done some Green Arrow. But on this page, you have 2 of DC's war characters. You have Black Hawk, who is possessed by Deadman here. So it's 2 for the price of 1, with Enemy Ace, the World War I character. So if you like DC war characters and mid-80s DC art that is oversized, this is the page for you.
All right.
And it's $250 if anybody's interested.
Fantastic. Back to the slideshow. All right. Again, I'll post email addresses. Anyone watching post want to pick something up, just email.
I'll take it.
Okay. We got a sale. Michael?
Yep.
Acknowledge.
You're taking the wait, you taking the Holberg one or the one that I'm not selling?
Busting your balls. I know that's the one you want to sell.
That's what I thought.
I wasn't going to put any art, but I thought, within the spirit of everything, I would post one page. And I put it up here, and I will keep it up for sale for 48 hours, and then I'll keep it. I like the page a lot, but, we got to play along. So let me go back. So this is a splash page from Jurassic Park #3 from 1993 by Topps Comics. It was by Gil Kane and George Perez. And this is that pivotal scene where the Tyrannosaurus Rex is hunting Alan Davis and the annoying little girl. And he says, "Don't move, don't make a sound." So it's kind of weird how Topps Comics got, 2 of the biggest stars of, all time to do a Jurassic Park. And this was the official comic book series that went along and came out the exact same time as the movie.
Wow.
So really awesome page. You can kind of see all the detail and inking that Gil Kane did, but a lot of George Perez influences. Jurassic Park written on the car. So I'm going to put this up here for $2,500 in the spirit of, contributing to the show and pull it down in 48 hours. So if you're interested, hit me up. And there you go.
That's a beautiful page. I didn't even know there was an adaptation.
Yeah. I think it was 4 issues. Michael Golden, no, he didn't do the covers. I think Gil Kane did a bunch of covers, but it's funny is the first 2 issues, if you remember the movie, it's all looking at the dinosaurs and Nedry and all that kind of stuff. It's issue 3 and 4 where all the people get eaten. So those are good ones. All right. Well, thank you guys. So we're going to do something fun. I have that art giveaway. We're making great time too. And this is part of my little brand when I go on the Bill show a lot. I do something called Slido. And Slido is a program. Oh, yeah, I've already shared that one. You weren't here for the beginning, Rob, but I got a Usagi Yojimbo interior published page by Sakai. And
I was here from the beginning. You didn't bring me in. Okay. Why is that?
Rob.
Check your text. At 7:02, I texted you.
All right. So, but I shared that with the audience a little bit earlier. And again, you can't find these anywhere. Stan keeps everything. So on the Slido, it's pretty easy. You grab your phone, go to your camera, go to slido.com or put in the code or take the QR code. So we can all do it, but you guys can't win because there's a slight. I've got a 5-question Nick Barucci quiz. And whoever wins gets that piece of art. So let's see. Make sure you guys log in. There's a question and answer section. I know. They ripped me to shreds in the QA on these Slidos. So grab your phones and we'll see. Let me see how many people are in. We'll start with I'll wait a couple minutes to see how many people join.
That's a beautiful piece.
It's done by Luigi Terrell. I'm not too familiar. 9x12. I'll ship it. You don't pay anything. Just kind of my contribution to the show. So whoever wins the quiz, 5-question quiz, we'll go. So I'll give it 2 more minutes. And then you're going to run out and buy it. You only have a flip phone, Ruben? Yeah. Basically rotary. Ruben's in Canada. That technology hasn't gone up there yet.
We just got cordless.
He's going to roast me on the show later. Ruben has his own show every Sunday.
It's a hell of a show.
Yeah, interviews. I always jump in and out because I enjoy it, but it's tough, for a Sunday evening for 3 to 4 hours. So he gets involved. He has a lot of questions. He has a lot of audience interaction. So I'll jump in every now and then throughout the show, see what's going on, fast forward through the art, but it's good stuff. It's Sundays at 7 Central Time, I believe, but he can put a message in the chat. So there it is. Who is that dude?
Neon Dragon.
Oh, that's on the next show? Oh. I was like, that does not look like Ruben. All right, so we're going to kick off the Slido. Hopefully you guys are in. What hair routine does Wolvie fan use? That was one of the questions. Who's Rob's dream writer to work with? Oh, that one's kind of... We'll go to these questions later. Can James find me a connecting human centipede cover? I don't know. I'm sure you can find someone to commission. All right, ready? Here we go. Dynamite Entertainment. Let's see how many people... Oh, now we can log in. My apologies. All right, take your pictures. What year was Dynamite Entertainment founded? Oh, crap. Hey, Jay, we're going to have to do I made it so everyone's anonymous. So you didn't have to put in your name. Note to self. We'll have fun with the quiz, and then we'll spin a wheel at the end. We got time. 10 people? Anyone else? 2004? 1998? 2004 is the right answer. Oh, I didn't even think this through because I usually make everyone anonymous. Anyway, we'll have fun. Which one of these is not or has not been a Dynamite property? There's Powerpuff Girls, Gargoyles, RoboCop, or Sonic the Hedgehog. All right. Sonic the Hedgehog. You guys know your Dynamite. Which one is not one of Nick's favorite characters, though he likes them all? We got Barry Allen, Namor, Hal Jordan, Clark Kent, or Matt Murdock. And if you know Nick and you know his calf, you know the answer. Clark Kent. People know Nick. All right. What did Nick invent? The automobile, colonoscopies, string theory, terrible dramatic readings, or all of the above? Couple more. Let's get up to 10. 10, I'm going to call it. We all know that Nick invented all the above. Nick invents everything. It's a, Rob, it's a meme within the show. Terrible dramatic readings is a good one, though. Yeah. All right, last question. What should you do now? Make sure you reach out to anyone you claim work from. Have a great weekend. Hug your family and friends. Or it's kind of a gimme question, or all of the above. This is the first time I've ever done a quiz for a giveaway, and I ruined it because I turned off the privacy that required people to put in their names. That's terrible. Hey, Jay, can we throw a hashtag in the chat? James ruined it. And then that way people can spin a wheel. Is that possible, sir?
Yes, sir. Give me just a second. I'll set that up.
Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good.
All right. Of course, it's all the above. 100%. Thank you, guys. All right. Let me close this out real quick. We can close out the deck and move over to start faces, Jay. I know you're doing 9 things at once, and I appreciate that. So while he's setting that up, and I do want to give this art away, any plans for the weekend? Yeah, James ruins it. Yep, ruined it. Perfect. So put in the chat, hashtag James ruined it. Spoiled it. Oh, no one says put it in the chat yet. So first person to do it's probably going to be the winner. Oh, there's one. There's 2. There's 3. All right. We'll wait a couple more. James ruined it. What's your plans for the weekend? We'll start with Michael. Anything fun?
Going to see Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony tomorrow in concert. So
Where are they playing at?
I actually have to drive 3 hours into New Jersey to go see them. But I'm a big fan of the Van Hagar era of Van Halen. So I don't know how many more tours Sammy has left in him. So I figure it's now or never.
Hashtag Hagar ruined it.
Nah.
What about you, Rob?
You got 2 Robs.
Well,
I already know what you're doing.
The good-looking Rob. That's you, Rob.
I have one. We have rare babysitter this weekend. My parents are taking the kids. I have 3 kids, if anyone doesn't know. So they're going to get out of the house, and I'm very much looking. I love my kids very much, but I'm looking forward to them not being here. We're gonna I'll probably try to talk my wife into seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, maybe.
Freaking awesome! I saw it yesterday. Awesome.
That's what I've heard. It's all over my timeline right now.
Yeah.
2 words for you.
I'm just trying to avoid all the spoilers I can. All the
2 words
spoilers.
for you. You ready for this one?
Oh my goodness.
Henry Cavill.
All right.
Oh.
Pick Rob off this stream. I don't even care what he's doing.
Look, I'm only kidding with that one. The others maybe were true, but that was just a joke. Okay, that was just a joke. Okay, jerk off.
Make sure you take a nap, Rob. Make sure you take a nap. And then movie fan.
My wife and my kids are out of town this weekend, so I'm hitting all the nudie bars that are local. Let's do it. Come over, Guillory. We're doing this.
All right. Hey, Jay, let's spin that wheel. James ruined it. God, how did I not think of that? I don't ship to Canada. Oh, all right. Dwayne's a pain. So let me do this. Here, if you want to share my screen, or I'm going to put this up here. Let's see. If you guys can see this, and definitely put it in the chat too. My email address is ou_151@yahoo.com. We mentioned Rob Guillory Sales at gmail.com.
It's misspelled though. You may want to fix that.
Where did I? Oh, 2 L's.
Come on, 2 L's and 1 O.
There you go.
There you go. You got it.
Multitasking. All right, Michael. Well, I'll ask Rob. We'll wait a second. What's your email address?
It's ACCM as in Michael, J M as in Michael at gmail.com.
Yep. Email Michael afterward and claim that Excalibur page because it's fantastic. All right. wolvyfanscomicart.com.
Yeah, that's the website, but email is wolvyfanscomicart@gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
And Rob, I'll give you that page. Throw me a page back.
Oh, absolutely, man. I appreciate it. I would definitely take you up on that.
No, I don't mess around. James, well, let's hook it up, okay?
Cool.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. What was the guy's name? Dwayne Zapam. Please email me, name, address, and everything. I will get that thing shipped out to you. Again, gorgeous piece. I think you'll love it within the next few days. Thank you guys for joining me this Friday. I think with San Diego Comic-Con, there was a dedicated crew here today versus kind of normal, but hopefully you enjoyed the sit-in for Mr. Brucci, who'll be back next week. And again, thank you. Have a great weekend. Hug your kids, like Nick says. And we'll talk to you guys later.
The Booch. We miss you, brother.
Yeah.
Not really.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.